Breaking news tonight, Eastern Kentucky University has suspended some football players involved in a bar fight that was caught on surveillance video.
Investigators say two students claimed it was a joke, but an online threat caused a scare at schools in Whitley County today.
It's the question many people in Lexington are asking. What's going on at the Centrepointe block in downtown Lexington? Tonight, we look for answers.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good evening to you. Police released the surveillance video just a few days ago, and tonight Eastern Kentucky University has announced it suspended the football players who took part in a bar fight.
Police say that EKU and UK players were involved in that fight, but a grand jury did not indict anyone. Monique Blair joins us now from the live desk with the breaking details. Monique?
This statement from EKU's athletic department released today won't name the students who are suspended, but we can tell you in the past few hours, EKU football players Colton Scurry and Patrick Graffrey have been removed from the online EKU football roster. Now, this statement in part says, quote, given the actions of these student athletes, these players have been suspended from the EKU football roster. Their future at the university will be determined pending the decision by personnel within our Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities. This type of behavior will not be tolerated, end quote. According to a police report also just made public 3 days ago, EKU defensive lineman Colton Scurry was the primary aggressor in the fight at Jerseys. Now, UK football coach Mark Stoops says from a football standpoint, the UK players involved were addressed and it was handled internally prior to the videos being released this week. Coach Stoops says the videos did not present any new information to the case. At the live desk, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Some tense moments today for schools in Whitley County. They had to be locked down because of an online threat.
Police say someone claimed there was a person on a school campus with a gun. Now police say two students are in custody in connection to the threat. Sam Smith is tracking the investigation in our top story at 6.
Officials say a violent message written on a computer here was sent to a crisis center in Iowa. Sheriff Colin Harrell read me that message.
Ricky Myers wants to kill himself and has a gun in his backpack and is going to shoot some kids.
Harrell says there's no one at the school by that name. The center in Iowa contacted officials at Whitley County schools and every building was locked down.
We searched everything we could be searched and nothing was located.
Those with kids at the school were anxiously waiting outside the school during the lockdown.
The kids are terrified, I'm terrified, everybody's terrified.
A 16-year-old and 19-year-old Nicholas Ryan Greenlee face several charges, including terroristic threatening. Investigators say the teens are friends and both used the computer to send the message. Harrell says one teen said this was just a joke.
But nobody out there was laughing. We take this stuff very serious, and the school does also.
Fortunately, no one was harmed today, and the lockdown was lifted after about 2 hours.
This is pretty scary. I mean, for everybody involved.
In Whitley County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Police also told Williamsburg schools to go on lockdown as a precaution.
Tonight, we're tracking the investigation into a sexual assault at a Lexington hotel. Lexington police say it happened at the Griffin Gate Marriott on Newtown Pike. Police say a woman met a man while drinking at a hotel bar and then went upstairs with him. They say the woman told them she then blacked out and later woke up next to a vending machine. Police say that she had been sexually assaulted. They have not made any arrests.
Some showers have popped up across parts of Kentucky tonight, so is any break from the rain in sight? Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look at the forecast.
Yeah, the stuff we're seeing out there right now, kind of few and far between. That is certainly welcome news. A lot of us getting in on at least some filtered sunshine out there. And that's a nice way to begin our Thursday evening. And I've got better stuff showing up for your Friday afternoon and into part of the weekend. Little look outside at our live sky cam. Absolutely gorgeous view. The grass as green as you can possibly get it around here. The tropical looking skies and temperatures that have been flirting with 70 degrees all day long. Upper 60s to around 70, and that humidity is just off the charts. Winds are coming at us from the south at 15 miles per hour. Speaking of the south, we're a little cooler southern Kentucky because we've had to fight some showers for the better part of the day compared to your neighbors to the north. So we've kind of flipped the temperature script today from what you normally see. Northern Kentucky warmer than southern Kentucky as of right now. Here's what Defender is tracking. Those showers into the southern parts of the area beginning to dissipate, though I'm seeing a little uptick in some isolated showers and storms. Williamstown up toward the Covington, Cincinnati area. Lexington Metro, not a whole lot going on. Those dying showers right on top of Manchester. Here's what I'm working on. Isolated storms continue this evening. Your weekend will start warm. Your weekend will end wet. We'll track the good and the bad with the hour-by-hour forecast in 10 minutes.
Chris, thank you. Well, this is a live look at the Centrepointe project in downtown Lexington, and this scene prompts a question that many people are asking. What's going on with it? Is it still going to be built, and why is this project taking so long? In this WKYT investigation, we went looking for answers from city planners to council members to the developer himself, Dudley Webb. 6.5 years after demolishing the entire block to make way for Centrepointe, there is little to show on the other side of this fence. No hotel, no apartments and condos, no shops or restaurants. Instead of towers of hotel rooms and apartments, 2 tower cranes look lonely.
Unfortunately, with the cranes up, they just pose a bigger question mark. People are wondering why they're there, why nothing's going on.
Bill Farmer is not the only council member wondering about Centrepointe and its future.
Oh, yeah. I have concerns. People ask me. I have no idea.
Centrepointe sits in the district represented by Councilman Jake Gibbs, and he hears the questions about why it doesn't seem to be moving forward.
No one seems to have any idea as far as I know. Do you have any idea? Can you show me anything?
Patience is running out among some city leaders. The city has an agreement with developer Dudley Webb. They required Webb to put aside $4 million. If work stops for 60 days on this site, the city could have him use that money to refill the hole and restore the block to what it looked like before the digging began.
I and many other council people get asked a lot about this, and I believe that probably within the next week or two, council will be asking specific questions about what's likely to happen there.
In preparing this report, we talked several times by phone with Centrepointe developer Dudley Webb. He said rumors that the project is being abandoned are not true. He called it one of the most complicated projects he's ever worked on. And despite outward appearances, he says there is evidence the project is moving forward. Concrete footers are poured, the start of vertical support columns for the towers. In the last week, the Centrepointe property was reassessed, doubling in value from $8 million to $16 million.
A year ago, it was something different than it is today. Today, they've dug down 30 feet or so in preparation for building a parking garage. Work and money has gone into that. That has increased the value of the property. It's further along.
And city planners say moving forward also includes what is happening away from the construction site.
Development is not necessarily just everything that's going on inside the site, but also other aspects of it. So, I mean, you can't always tell by what's going on in the site. So that's the part that's the constant contact is important, or at least having regular update meetings with them.
The executive director of the Downtown Development Authority says it's important that something happen in the near future here.
Having an empty site in your downtown is really sucks the life out of things, and we look forward to hearing from the developer on how they plan to move forward.
Webb says, quote, no one is as pressed to get this deal done as I am. But right now, Webb says building the underground parking garage cannot move forward until he sells $25 million in bonds. At the first of this year, Webb told the Herald Leader he hoped to have them sold by the end of January. Now he tells us he could have an announcement on the bond sale any day. As for that sign that says a bank will open here this year, Webb says it needs to be updated. Now, we offered Dudley Webb an opportunity to do an on-camera interview and answer questions about the future of Centrepointe. He said he wanted to wait because he had a big announcement coming soon.
And so instead today you actually received a letter from
Right.
Dudley Webb, the developer.
Right, two-page letter, Amber, fairly detailed, and he talks about the sale of the bonds. Now, the sale of the bonds, Webb says, are key. He says he can't do anything as far as construction now until he sells these bonds. So here's what he says. We're quoting from the letter we got today. Here's what Webb says publicly for the very first time. Quote, "We are pleased to report the buyers for the bonds have now been identified, and they are telling us in their term sheet that we received them. They can close on their purchase by early as next month." Now, does that mean construction starts again at Centrepointe next month? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But Webb says they've already put $30 million into Centrepointe, and there's another $170 million yet to come from the private sector. Now, many people are very eager to see Centrepointe construction start back up and the major project finished. Webb says at the end of this letter, quote, "Hopefully you'll agree that this project was worth waiting for."
Let's hope so.
We'll wait and see, won't we?
Absolutely, Sam. Thank you. A lot of work went into that. Thank you. Well, neighbors rushed to help after a fire broke out in a Lexington home today. The latest on the investigation coming up at 6.